Hell out of my OR.
Yes, sir. Good.
Time to put myself right back on top of Nick.
Have you moved it yet, James?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
It's gone.
I'm gonna refresh the page.
I'm taking it off YouTube, it's gone.
Yeah! What have you done?
That's it.
James! What are we doing? Uploaded my upload. History, browse, no, fix, my channel. What have you done? What have you done now?
The thing!
Yes, you have!
That's it!
Don't tell when you've done something, you've done something.
Chris, it's fine. You get how much hair now?
Okay. You've done something.
Oh, interesting. That a boy. I'm gonna go with Guy Smiley here.
Smiles in this corner, I think it cuts my mouse.
Huge moment.
Stinks.
You haven't had a shower for days?
Oh, shit, this smiley cheeky bugger.
Doesn't mean anything.
Stinks everywhere.
Point your head, or
Smells like sick.
it's just a, right now he's better.
Richie smells like sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you done?
Okay, go, you insult me like you always do.
Too easy. When you least expect
What have you done? What?
You continue to
Tell me. James is not funny now, tell me. James, what have you done? James.
one throw, one hiccup, and that's the difference.
It's not funny now, seriously, it's annoying.
Right down on my shoulders.